Hi, James Savage from National Club Golfer here, and today I'm taking a look at the brand new Wilson C300 irons. These are succeeding the C200 irons, which you may remember from a couple of years ago. But what's really interesting this time around is we've got a cast model and we've got a forged model. So, you know, a little bit more pricey for the forged model, £100 extra on a 40 pitching wedge set. They're $699 compared to $599 for the cast. But they look pretty good to me. They definitely look like they're fitting in that sort of mid-ground, you know, your sort of maybe 12 to 18 handicappers. Because if you just sort of like look at them in the address position, they are quite large. They do look quite forgiving. They're not as big as their D300 irons, which you may remember our previous review of. But so for me, I'm currently playing off 17. You know, these are right up my street, and you know, just in terms of their profiles and their proportions. So what technology have we got here with the C300? Well, you may remember from the C200 they introduced something called power hole technology, and we've got that again, and we've actually got more of it. So we've got more power holes. We've got sort of power holes everywhere. So what are power holes? You know, what do they do? We can see them here on the sole, and you can actually see on the cast model we've actually got them on the top line as well. We don't have them on the top line of the forged model. So what these power holes actually do, they actually reduce the contact points from the face to the actual body. So what that just allows it to do, it just allows that face just to have a little bit more flex, get a little bit more ball speed from, you know, all around the face. So just to make them a little, you know, just a little bit more forgiving really. So the main difference I'd say between these two models is obviously with the forged model you're going to expect a little bit of a crisper sound and feel. From a looks point of view, size wise, not a lot of difference. I'd maybe say that the forged model is just ever so slightly sleeker, a little bit less offset, and just sort of like a little bit of a sharper toe, if that makes any sense. But it's just that the forged model just looks a little bit more, you know, leaning towards your sort of like your better player club. But size wise, there really isn't a lot in it. So that's the tech. How do the C300 irons perform? Well, I took both these out. I've got a couple of 7 irons here. I took these out onto the course at Moor Allerton just to try and get a feel for them in a real life golfing situation. And you know, my initial impressions of how they performed out on the course was really good. I was quite impressed by the sound and feel. It's actually a lot nicer, a lot more pleasing to hit than it was with the C200 irons. I remember finding them a little bit on the harsh side, but these are actually, you know, quite soft. You get a little bit more of a crisper sound and feel from the forged model, but you know, the cast model will still feel really nice. They've actually got this urethane material that they've got in there, which does just sort of dampen vibrations and improve that sound and feel. Distance wise, quite hard to tell when we're out in the winter and it's quite cold, but you know, I was hitting them, you know, par 3, 150 yards, you know, and hitting the green, and you know, like I said, 7 iron for me is my 150 yard club. So from out on the course, it seemed like, you know, they were doing everything I wanted them to do, and I was liking, you know, the look, sound and feel. So I came off the course, went over to the driving range, set up the launch monitor, and you know, just got a little bit of data just to see if it was, you know, backing up or contradicting anything that I'd seen out on the course. And what I was quite surprised to see actually was just the improvement in performance from the forged model compared to the cast model. I was, you know, really getting better overall numbers with the forged model, which I was quite surprised about. I almost assumed that the cast model is going to be a little bit more forgiving. It's going to be a little bit more lively, and I might get a little bit more distance. But on the launch monitor numbers, that wasn't actually the case. So if we look at the cast launch monitor numbers here, I've got an average carry 143, average total 154. Now that's absolutely fine for me, because as you know, 7 iron is my 150 yard club, so you know, carrying about 145, total 150 to 145, it's just what I'm used to. There's nothing alarming on that. I did find that they were flying quite high for me, probably a little bit higher than what I would like, but yeah, overall numbers were pretty good. But with the forged model, I just seemed to be getting a little bit extra out of them, where my average carry was up to 153 and my average total was 168. Now, you know, they're like really good 7 iron numbers for me. If you've seen any of our previous iron videos, you'll know that, like I say, I'm pretty standard round about the carry 150 mark. So to get over that 150 with a couple of shots there, carrying even up to, you know, to 160, carrying, you know, 178, 179, it makes me feel that the forged irons, you know, they were pretty hot. They were, you know, they were doing some really good things for me. So if I was going to make a choice just based on the launch monitor numbers, I'd definitely be leaning towards the forged model. Now, why is that? You know, I've touched on a couple of reasons why, but we've also got different shafts in here. I've actually got a KBS Tour 105 in the forged model, and I've got a KBS Tour 90 in the cast model. Now that shaft there, the KBS 105, that is really close to the current spec of shaft that I currently use. So I think what this is proving, if it ever needed to be underlined, just the importance of the custom fitting process just to get the right shaft. And with irons, it's absolutely crucial. Just to get that right feel, just to get your right timing. You know, I just felt like I could really time this model really well. And I'm not really sure it's necessarily to do with the head performing much better than this head, because you know that you wouldn't expect that much difference, you know, in the head performance really, but you would expect that performance in the shaft. So you know, make sure you go and see a pro for a proper custom fitting, because it can make all the difference. But you know, still, I just prefer the sound and I prefer the looks. I prefer the sound and feel of the forged, and I just didn't feel like I was giving anything up from a forgiveness point of view. I didn't really feel like that this was going to necessarily perform any better on the miss hits. You know, I think I'd definitely be happy to pay the £100 extra for the forged model. So all in all, I think it's fair to say that with the C300 forged, I was getting numbers which are just as good as anything else that I've hit this year, which is really good. And with both models, with the cast model and the forged, you know, we've got some really good shaft options with these, you know, KBS Tour shafts. You know, they are excellent shafts, and it's great to see them being offered as a stock option. And we've also got these Lampkin crossline grips, which I really like as well. They just add to the overall sort of premium feel, and you know, it's a good package. I think this from Wilson. They're definitely the best Wilson irons I've hit. They were better than the C200. They were better than the D300. So it's good to see that, you know, year on year that their products are getting much better. It can be difficult for Wilson to, you know, they're a really historical brand, and they've won loads of major championships, but now the market is just dominated more with, you know, your Pings and your Callaways and your TaylorMades and your Mizunos and the Titleists, and it's very difficult for you know, Wilson to sort of, you know, get in there with those big boys. But if you're in the market for some irons, if you're a mid-handicapper, if you're 12 to 18 handicapper, please go and give these a try, because you know, if they work for, you know, if the forged model, for example, works as well for you as it did for me, I think you could be seeing some, you know, quite pleasing gains there from distance point of view, and you know, just, you know, dispersion, sound, feel. I think you'll be really impressed with those. So post us some comments below what you think about these irons, what your first impressions are. If you're currently playing Wilson irons and you may be looking to upgrade, yeah, any questions at all, post them down below and I will get back to you. Anything else on the technology, the specs, any more details on the SRPs, or you know, how you can kind of put a set together, again, post comment below, I will get back to you. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll catch you later.